conversations.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man.
Oh shit.
What's
This
on your
is
mind?
So tough.
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Time to arrest him.
What?
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately.
Okay.
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
There's
no.
no denying it. Your body needs to feel the touch of some good performance wear.
Oh yeah, man. Give us that machine.
It's rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6?
A6.
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
Wow.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
Never. They would never illegalize sport. Sport is the most wholesome thing known to man.
Right.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now.
Just be straight with him.
Straight? Really? Other addiction.
Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a person to commit a criminal offense that the person would have otherwise been unlikely to commit, usually through some trickery, persuasion.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Ooh.
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
Right. Yeah, that white check is really tough.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Formidable.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Where am I? Who are you?
Oh, that works.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
I'm actually surprised that finger flickering works.
Back in Mefka, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro.
I remember the last time with my sidekick, it wasn't possible to do any conversation.
Until you came along, that is.
Oh, okay.
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man
Handsome
looks
man.
straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her. Even 50 years later, you can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all his lines.
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the mind behind, while you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little...
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate.
Someone was...
Not in your memories? Serious?
They are someone's memories, boy. They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true.
All of what? The world? The present?
Why not, Harife?
Harife.
It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole. What do you mean? Yes? What about it? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best communers around. I drive routes, no Lomonosov's land, Udashnaya Zemlya, Western Plain.
A terrible cold comes over her.
The Transcatolia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas do Mirador. All the good ones. The deep trenches. Where the bluebirds fly. You're right, Loman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say? Of course not. To truly understand the boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
A boyadero,
Some kind of song.
boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk.
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. He
Boyadera.
promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain. Of course not. The boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Maigret.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's
No. The boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Maigret. Then he rides off. Because the Western Plain is calling to the most beautiful. A true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can be tied down with diamonds.
What?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was? Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Oh.
Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in?
Bad hand. Hermenegildos's bad hand strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
What do I need drugs for, Loman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare. If you don't know,
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
Oh. Interesting.
who the fuck is Irat? Ah, and what do I care about the Union boss? He's no Gabriel, he's no Franco Negro, he's not even Hermenegildo the Hunt. Maybe, probably not. Makes no difference to me either way. Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grat on the U41A. What do you think they take from us? It's diamonds, Lowman, obviously.
Damn this. Make her answer.
Easy. is the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Diamonds are good for you, Lowman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras. Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will. To the yes, go. Enough jamboree.
Apparently, she's not really answering.
You see a Samaran street vendor. The name Sileng is
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here. Everything's cool.
from out on the bay. A cool wind gathers.
You're
Cool.
very cool. Bang, bang.
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout a brewing.
No.
What? No finger pistols, officer? Ooh. You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business.
It's
Maybe
boring.
I can interest you in some premium menswear instead. Me? It's a boring
This man probably comes from Seaguy,
Seaguy.
sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty. Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism, but the apricot suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left. That's so cool, officer. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some paints and glass? You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral hassle.
What?
It is practically free. Yours for 5 cents a piece. Rock that tuna. Why not some macaroni too? No problem here, officer. I get all this.
Wait. Humanix. Humanitarian aid.
What?
A convincing performance, bruh.
Look, officer. I'm just a retailer. You'd have to talk to my supplier if you got questions about the supply chain. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy. Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permit.
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable weather.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom. That's right. Revachol is the best place for an independent self-employer like myself. I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, no need for discounts and ceilings, officer.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could put them on sale?
My man, you know how the game is played. You and me, we should work together. What do you think? Anything for you.
Macaronis plus 1. You can do that. Okay, let's try. 50% is a good chance.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Start with a little
Yay.
compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Oh, okay. But why, officer? An investment? What kind of investment? I guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. How much are we talking about here?
1 million real. Let's go. One
But
million
officer,
real.
I don't have that kind of money. There's got to be a more modest investment.
Okay,
And
fine.
Real is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
Oh yeah, I got some money from this.
Welcome to
Oh yeah,
Revachol.
this is one.
Oh, I'm just a simple camionneur, a father of three, and a Revachol patriot. Yeah, I drive a lorry, back and forth. Sometimes I sit stuck in a traffic jam, guarding that lorry.
Oh.
His physique reeks of heavy motor oils. His breath smells of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
It's about biological determinism, natural
also
law,
Russian.
the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic.
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat. Not sheep, ostriches.
Sheep? Common ostriches.
Actually, neither ostriches or sheep bury their heads in the sand. It's just a saying.
Whatever, go back to your college class, Bino.
Beno. Racist.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it. People who've studied these things say that we are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge.
If this guy's all the Occidentals have, well, let's just say he's not exactly ripped.
I can really tell you a prime example of racism.
So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race. The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And all the other
Mosquitoes.
introduced species out there, breeding like rabbits. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Good. If we, the evening people, pull together, we can form a bulwark against these troubled times. Root out. Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
Okay. What else are you
Oh, not
holding?
much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a strike. They've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. Apples.
Apples, really?
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
Okay.
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Mirinza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow.
There's your
Ratio again.
Take his side in this particular fight.
Look, I'm gonna be straight with you since you're my kin. I don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You're a cop. I'm not an idiot. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Oh,
If they were getting drunk inside the Whirling in Rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that it's the kips who do all the stealing around here? That's not road to science, man. Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well. Of course he's a lorry driver. What? He tell you he's just some simple businessman or some shit? He's selling his employer stuff after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, alright? 100%. Guess so.
sure, it's a
Everything's
good
still
idea.
cool here, officer. Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs. That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs.
Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But,
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a... No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole.
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
Okay.
No, I just forgot. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
Is it that obvious that he's the drug dealer?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. There's more here. He's afraid of this crowd, whoever they are, more than he is of the racist lorry man.
Wasn't some kind of lorry man?
Look, there's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Oh my god.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I...
He's aching to get back to his usual shtick. All this whispering is bad for business.
I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about that.
The omen back there.
I don't know. Maybe.
He's not ruling her out.
All right. Very cool. Let's cap this off with a purchase. A pair of funky sunglasses, detective. You deserve it. And I deserve it too.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorry. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over you, making your eyes sting. The odor mixes with cigarette residue. The driver has adorned the side walls with a substantial collection of racist paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and
Security.
purity. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crown with wavy rays. It is the seal of Royalist era Revachol. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into them.
Interesting.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man.
Ooh.
What's on your mind?
Why is it so low? Oh, the drug is gone.
I don't want to talk about that. Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Uh-oh.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her.
It's true. We would have caught a lie. But a kind heart is tricky. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
Emotional breakthrough. Ah, okay. Revacholian nation food.
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law. A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way. Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Ooh.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Blue and violet.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out. Yes.
Wow.
Which is why I don't want to snitch on her. I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her, more like for her. Well, it looks like it did now, but we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
What? A mine?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
The pain it was causing her.
Right.
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman for one. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out.
That's true.
Now is not the time to focus on feelings. You need that It's right here. The answer is right here. You just need to ask him. Come on, do it.
Boss dummy.
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes too.
Upgrade complete.
Revacholian nationhood. The Revacholian state will be a serene place. You should get a drink. A beautiful, serene place of mystery and peace. It will not be a place for women
get
to
a beer?
infect with their frailty and hysterics.
Akogis.
Where
Ooh.
the Seminoles will be allowed
Damage
to wear
morale
their pants
out.
around their ankles. All of that will go once you get a drink. The socialist professors at the École Supérieure will be fired. The editors of Tronc Le Monde will have to
But
beg in the
minus one
streets.
morale,
You'll
dude.
pull
That kind of
bear
hurt.
into the begging hats and laugh. You should get a beer.
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss? I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another honest lorryman's job. You know, I don't think you're as down with our fight as you'd like me to believe, brother. Why is the saffron man still there? Talk to him. I don't know anything. Listen up, fuckwit. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything. You're useless. I ain't saying nothing.
Isn't saying nothing saying something? Or did I just blow your mind?
I'm your brother.
What? If you don't know, I ain't telling you shit.
Woohoo! Nice.
Men like this only respect
Strength
two
and
things.
fear.
Strength and fear.
Nice.
Time to turn up the volume.
Fuck you, I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is. I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days. Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
Now you had it, huh? No.
This screen found A to Z.
Go.
With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar. A glint of light catching on the tip. Call down the hammer of truth and justice. Release your secrets, lorry cabin.
One is against the police and welcome to Revachol. Apologetically, this is so Japanese. Like, sumimasen. Whoosh. Welcome. Ouch.
The window shatters and droplets of glass fly everywhere. Shattering over, the smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you.
Oops. Okay, let's not break it using that kind of word. Let's try a different word.
This screen found A to Z. With a firm grip, you raise the pry bar. The window shatters and droplets of glass fly everywhere.
That doesn't
shattering
give any.
over the lorry floor and
Hold on. Did they change? They gave me any money. 1662.
this
There's
screen
no
found
changes.
A to Z. With a firm grip, you raise the window shatters
no
and
changes.
droplets of glass fly everywhere. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be. These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint
Spicy.
of amberette wafting through the bitter air of the cabin. The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume.
Whoa.
Probably Grenade number 5. The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly. This is Tip Tijon, a starlet
John.
from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
Ooh.
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world and the camera. The actresses and the
Interesting.
rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Check the
You
pedal.
wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, but one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Matching one of the footprints found from the crime scene, which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Ooh, that's good. She could be a suspect. Always the most deceitful one.
You've identified one of the footprints, but there are still 7 to go.
Right.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. But there's something strange about
the
it.
radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. The peculiar frequency tableau indicates that at least 128 stations
Whoa.
have been saved on this radio.
128? That's a lot, man.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
Speed Freaks FM.
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, okay.
Unclear. For contacting an entire fleet of lorries, for example, this must be the nerve center of a well-organized operation. Not without the dial key, no.
Right.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat.
Let's check the toolbox first.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper. It's an issue of Petit Feric from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages. It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the ULAN frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
Out.
Pull out toolbox slides back into its nest.
Okay,
The rest
so
is as it was. Posters.
what's
the
left
radio,
is the
dust on the
passenger
windows.
seat
Voila.
cover.
A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol, some of its routes and highways. This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's
Could
another
this
X
be
on the off-ramp at a place
The
called
drug
the Old
location or
South.
something.
Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881. High above the mess of brown and red roofs, that is Jamrock. To Couron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates. This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital. Wind rips through the empty hallways of the once great military hospital. Now just a ruin under an overgrown, the rattle of motor carriages and lorries driving through long forgotten tunnels. The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock. These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway. Despite the cold, figures move about cloaked in shadow, their breath escaping in white clouds that fade into the darkness. Wherever you look, the night gives cover to her messengers. They travel from eminent domain to perdition and onto the main, over the river Esperance, on Route 881 to the Old South. The exit ramp is supposed to be shut down, but there's much. The road spreads like the tentacles of a great. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
East Motor Tract.
The cluttered cabin of the abandoned lorry offers no reply. If only Lieutenant Kitsuragi were here to help you piece together the evidence.
Right.
You stuff the maps back under the seat cover. Better not to leave traces of you being here yet. The movie stars look silently by. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Well, definitely need some advices from Kitsuragi.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? You have?
Finally, time to choose sides.
Oh. International comedian does not.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Worm-like corruption, of course. I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a Worm myself. But how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things. Tell her she'll like you for it.
Right?
Oh. That's so helpful of him. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else? Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Hold on. Let me build up my Drama to detect some lies.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Oh. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Ah, yes. As you said, your gun. Yes.
He seems to be in some sort of loop. Well, that's not good. Looks fine over here.
What is happening?
No, it's not that. It's... I have no idea.
Oh shit.
Of all the things to be stuck looping, this has got to be one of the most witless.
Sweetheart, please stop repeating that now.
This is going to be hard to recover from.
Please.
How do we get out of here? What makes you think we will? Yeah, we need to pull the plug. Physically, he should be fine. What if he forgets Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hold on.
Detective, is everything all right in there? No, not at all, I'm afraid. You seem to be caught in some sort of loop. Never mind the details. We've wasted enough time as it is. Now, please ask me something else before it happens again. Something that, preferably, doesn't include the words Mr. or Everard. Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this.
One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them a read on the entire quarter.
Right.
In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation. Ah, good to hear. I wouldn't want to pry into a confidential police matter, but in the event you'd like to share more, I would like to know who it was. high-intensity microwave frequencies.
Cool.
They're used for navigational purposes, to compress the inter-eastlery space. They may use it to communicate with incoming freighters.
As the shipments approach Revachol, somehow you suspect something more sinister.
That speaks of the vastness and sophistication of the operation. Were you able to examine the radio? Sensible for her to disable access to such essential information.
Oh, she got it. It's a her.
A runaway. Good work. This is a tangible lead towards solving the whole mystery. We contain multitudes, do we not? It might not be pertinent to her profession, but who knows? It may help you find her yet.
She means you know her closer now. In some way, you know her soul a bit.
First-rate find. That should tell you all you need to know about their network, I would imagine. So this goes beyond Jamrock. At least you now understand the gravity of the situation, and those maps should prove very valuable indeed. Clever. Few suspect a woman in this sort of skullduggery. Good move on their part. I appreciate you placing your trust in me. Thank you again for looking into this matter. You have my gratitude, and the gratitude of Wild Pines Group. Now, per our original agreement, it's time for me to share company secrets with you.
Oh, attention.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Right.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate Cronell, an Oronese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Shit. Okay.
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbor. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Union has over 2,000 men.
Ouch.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, detective? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
Wow.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
Maybe a good bloodletting is just what Martinez need. Houses drenched in red, blood gushing down Rue de
Oh, cheers.
The whole place mopped with a giant red rag. Fresh bullet holes for all the old buildings.
Too many things have already gone wrong. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the little that is not from following suit. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
So we have to find out who actually killed or actually organized the lynching.
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort I wouldn't go as far as to use that term, detective.
It's the expression she objects to.
Yes.
She picked a strange hill to die on. Strike. She's silent.
Paramilitary death squad is a bit rich. But yes, were it up to me, I would have at least vetted them more thoroughly.
Okay.
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is charged with coordinating law enforcement activities in complex multinational investigations.
Ah, yes, your condition. The International Collaborative Police maintains a database for these sorts of things. Perhaps you should consult it. I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. The remaining contractors, their tribunal, it's what they believe. That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too.
Was it because of me or something?
Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. If you mean, did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him. Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age. He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it. Through the injury.
Must be hard to force your face to move in a new fashion. If you continue like this, you'll have an aneurysm. Then you'll have to.
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, They're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
Right.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages.
You should show those meatheads exactly how savage you really are.
Yeah.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. That's wise. Our goal is to avert catastrophe. Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. I'm not trying to reassure you, officer. Quite the opposite, in fact. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Oh.
They've gone to ground as it were. They don't have the...
You should show those meatheads exactly how savage you really are.
What the heck?
That is a bad idea. One I won't be a party to. That's wise. Our goal is to avert... I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is any...
I'll just save us before I ask
Go
about
back.
that.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic. Repel. What I can do for you is answer... Of course. Excuse my hesitation.
For about half a minute, she wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish.
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. There's quite a few. Revachol, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think. Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first Sesame Islands, Revachol. Those are the two constants. Revachol on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. His
Nice.
platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
You wouldn't even know where to start.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Wait, what happened to that?
Of course. They've gone to ground as they don't have the...
You should show those meatheads exactly how.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to...
One must be at the harbor gates, causing trouble, directing strike breakers, perhaps. You
Right.
can hear the sounds of the ruckus coming from there all the time.
Right, that guy was it.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
The situation at the gates is a powder keg. She says she wants to avert catastrophe, but that's where she draws the line. I call bullshit.
It would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Nothing is inaccessible.
I hope I can answer it better.
Oh.
I am sorry to have been the bearer. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Possible?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late. For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she...
The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Venture capitalist.
Yes. King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. Or him and tens of thousands of the liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean they didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Suracle. The armed center of the world. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Back to the way they used to be. Liberal.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
That's the way of history. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat. A
Zarad.
particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune, modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-islary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. And welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom. I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have... Good question.
Your jaw clenches. Give the lady a taste of your wisdom.
Medical solution. $400 million.
You and everyone else.
Ooh.
But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Oh well. What was?
Got
was,
some money
I
from
guess.
this choice again.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Hold on.
You're back. Good. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. I am the vilest of the vile. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth. It's sharp.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as this anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
Oh.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
What the hell?
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my scaly bulk and my intimidating liberal credentials. This was not the plan all along. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez.
She realizes her small, cold...
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it. Perhaps my intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter. One basic term of... Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a... Yes. Whatever else I am. I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Raise your hand.
Glad to have been of assistance. You're back.
It is
Good.
so weird.
What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? I am an...
She raises the... It's sharp.
What's so foul about that?
No, not like me. I am the nether creature of the... Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth. Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
A devil, who being of great...
Beneath her waterproof raincoat,
Steal, kill, and destroy. That they say we've been doing for over 4 decades now. In any case, I'm glad we can remain collegial despite my scaly bulk and my perverse need to infiltrate and betray both kingdom. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only... Nothing settled. Simply fades away. Like a lover
Interesting.
who has lost their faith.
I get it.
I am an ultra...
she raises the... It's sharp.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, haven't you heard? We surrendered the nation to financier pirates.
Oh,
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of... Forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth.
I do hope so. When the dust settled, the liberal... Nothing settled.
wait, can I still get it?
She It's sharp.
Yes.
Hey.
I can see you...
In her green eye, forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent...
I do hope... When the dust settled, The Liberal... Nothing. We're in Martinez. Martinez is a district. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. I would be happy to. What is a preposterously expensive education? I am an...
She raised its sharp.
No.
No, that
Are
doesn't
you
work.
liberated?
In her, but only because you feel that she won't like the answer. Just as
A fitting punishment. To be forgotten. When the dust settled, nothing's settled.
Oops.
Simply fades away. Like a lover who has lost their faith.
Yeah, let me just give her back that.
she raised its sharp.
Yes, I can see you.
In her green eyes, you forgive her, but only because you like her.
I do. When the dust settled, nothing's settled. Glad to
Okay.
have been of...
There's actually a lot to ask about, but let's just investigate the other side. Oh, this is it.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark
that's the
grey
usual
core.
bullet size.
This is a real killer, not some garbage street ammo. You can feel the core is lead. The brass jacket probably didn't cover the entire bullet. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairline, it's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. What's interesting about the bullet thus far?
The soft blue lead core and brass jacket close 8 mm.
Exactly. A very unusual jacketed bullet. One that would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzle-loader like those typically found on the
Military
streets
grade.
of Martinez.
Ooh.
Very interesting. You have an unusual military-grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need is to find a gun that could fire it.
Oh, I knew it.
A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old
4.46 millimeter.
4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century.
Antique?
Probably an antique or a retrofitted. And the 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for a well-preserved antique, most likely. Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork to hand over to a tired records clerk. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible.
Alright. That is pretty interesting.
This door is made of metal and
Oh,
appears
got
to
it.
be reinforced. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Get it. Save. And
This
no,
door
trade
is marked number
time.
28. No one answered. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 2100.
Evening.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water. A straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line. The wind blows through your hair. The sea breeze cuts around you, high on the balcony as you stare over the edge at the sea. The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscure the better part of the remains. This is where the damage came from. From somewhere in the inlet, the cannon. What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean.
Ooh.
Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt. Underwater, iron helmets have sunk deep into the sand and the mud. Helmets of soldiers, and their finger bones too, and clavicles. A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol. Coalition warship Archer can shoot 50 shells a minute on 20 co-aligned archers. They will reach the city in 58 seconds. From the eyes of a seagull, a nest of brown hair not worth the 50-foot dive. From a pedestrian on the dock, a rugged man staring out to sea, mere feet from fatality. From a guest on the balcony of the Whirling in Rags, a silhouette imposing enough to be seen at a distance. The chill is bracing. The salt hangs in the air.
Time to go.
Can I help you? You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked. Another thing. Great. Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time. Who told you that? Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related.
He's exhausted from years of dealing with the ass.
If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill.
Oh.
Yes?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Nope. That is not helping.
Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window. You see 2, maybe 3 bushes grown into a single thicket. Over, there's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. One can't see into the union box from the yard outside. That hawthorn is too thick.
Not time yet.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you... I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't...
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
Just tell the truth. Ouch.
The Weasel is no true patriot, Harry. He prays every night for the downfall of the Union and spits upon the name of the King. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best. Helping. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this, but he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are neat freaks. If you don't mind me saying so, I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
With a police baton, like a crook or someone. That's not how you baton someone. The technique is way off. You strike with your whole body, not just the baton.
Oh, Harry, thanks for the tip. I'll leave doing the real damage to you. You are the real police officer after all. By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries. A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying.
I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it.
Those Senorita Pineapple people are scary motherfuckers. Decimating your state if you don't give them your pineapple.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical, and so is the village. But now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually... But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there was... One of them got downright suicidal. Getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out. And Harry, what you need to realize is, we got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
An entire neighborhood of killers.
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
Right.
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take
that's
it
the
upon
guy in
ourselves
the
to kill this beast that
grilling
was
on
burning
rag.
the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation. Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you if you're...
A man of the left. So he's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Money engineer.
Perfect, Harry, that's perfect. My version of the left is not against the companies, it's with the companies. Honestly, what I have in mind is a business proposal. Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez.
Roller skating, not drugs, Harry.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a...
Water drips from the eaves. A woman, you're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more? No one can see you here in Martinez.
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a...
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Am I? Harry, these people... Martinez is the most... We're going to build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up, and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez. Perfectly acceptable. No one's gonna force you into anything, but I don't know about that gun of yours. You see, but the good news is, the moment you change your mind and I'm very glad...
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated...
He was...
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is going to start happening now. Racist mugs, I have so much Oh no!
Oddly.
Believe me, Harry, but he does...
With a police... That's not how you batten someone. The technique is way off. You struck...
Oh, Harry, thanks for the tip. By now, I'm sure you figured out, Harry, the secure... I'm talking...
Those...
Everything they did there, they brought over here. Now, I haven't personally witnessed about my fun container, but enough about me and my One of them got... Harry, we got grit.
An entire neighborhood of...
There's a... They're like...
Again.
Oh, I'm not...
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway...
Oh, Liz is a bright one.
Liz?
I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Wait, the girl by the whirling, who was keeping an eye on you. Is he talking about her?
Oh, and she also really likes gardening, I hear. In March? Strange. Anyway, let's move on. So they shot him. How odd. I don't know what to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favorite policeman, Harry.
Shot and hanged man?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in sediment. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary. You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely. Sock it to me. Oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them. Exemplary union members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after him. Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer. You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're going to show up in full force tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry.
When you meet this, Titus, tell him...
Also, Harry, here's 5 real. I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
What?
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
No, I'm not gonna share that information.
By now, Harry, a security
He those
everything they did there, they brought over here. No, you have. Now, I haven't personally witnessed it. Yes, but enough of one of them got down. Harry, we got
an entire neighborhood of.
There's a
That's again.
Oh, I'm not
He
racist mugs. I have so. Oh no.
Oddly,
Believe me, but he.
with a police. That's not how you batten someone. The technique is way off. You
Of course, Harry. Was it a good talk? I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust.
a man of the left, so you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Perfect, Harry. That's perfect. My version of the left is not. Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper and then mail it to my accountant. I'm glad you asked, Harry. The union is going to.
Roller skating.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old. On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de.
Water drips from the eaves. The woman looks at you already pretty deep into this.
They are just gonna have.
Is he absolute?
Am I? We're gonna build a youth center there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the water lock, but they should. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I know we can do business together. Yes, my best men are tracking it down. Some kids saw some other kids running away with it. Some folks said a paranoid schizophrenic might have it. Leads are being checked, Harry. What's that, Harry? You're getting a little pale. Is it the words paranoid schizophrenic and lost gun in one sentence? Most certainly, Harry. By all means, Harry. What's on your mind?
Alright. Got an envelope.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period.
Let's go out.